She was found just after sunrise, standing alone near the edge of a forest reserve. Her clothes were worn and dirty, her feet bare against the rough ground. She didn't cry or call out for help. Instead, she stood silently, her eyes wide and searching, as if trying to remember something lost deep inside her. When people came near, she didn't speak or respond, only glanced at them briefly before looking away, as if afraid to connect. They asked her name, but no words came. They asked where her parents were, but she stayed quiet, like the answers were locked away behind a heavy door in her mind. It was clear something was wrong, something more than just fear or confusion. She seemed distant, as if she was trapped inside herself, unable to reach out or explain what had happened. The silence she carried was heavy, filled with a sadness no one could understand. From the moment Sophie arrived at her new foster home, something unusual began to emerge. While she rarely spoke to the people around her, she seemed strangely at ease whenever animals were nearby. Dogs, cats, even birds, she watched them intently, her eyes lighting up in a way she never did with people. But it was the primates at the nearby sanctuary that truly captivated her. Caretakers noticed that Sophie wasn't just calm around the monkeys and apes, she seemed to understand them. She would mimic their movements, copying their gestures with surprising accuracy. Sometimes she'd sit quietly for long stretches, simply observing their behavior. It was almost as if she spoke a silent language only they shared. The sanctuary staff began to wonder if Sophie's connection went deeper than curiosity. Unlike other children who might be scared or distracted by the animals, she moved with a kind of gentle confidence around them. She wasn't afraid. Instead, she seemed to be reaching out, communicating in her own way. Though she still didn't speak much, the way Sophie interacted with the animals gave the people around her hope. Maybe, through these creatures, she could find a path back to the world she had lost. A world she couldn't yet remember, but was somehow still inside her. One afternoon, Sophie was brought to the sanctuary to spend time with the animals under supervision. That day, she met Koba, an elderly silverback gorilla who had been rescued from the wild years before. The moment Sophie approached, something shifted. Koba watched her quietly, his deep eyes filled with a calm intensity that seemed to reach right into her soul. Without warning, Koba reached out and gently touched Sophie's hand. It was a simple gesture, but the effect was immediate and profound. Suddenly, images and sounds flooded her mind. Thick jungle leaves, distant voices calling her name, the laughter of children, and the roar of helicopters overhead. Memories she had buried so deeply began to surface all at once. Overwhelmed, Sophie stumbled backward, tears streaming down her face as the emotions she had locked away for so long came rushing back. For the first time in years, she could remember fragments of her life, where she had come from, who she had been. The touch of that gorilla had broken through the silence, unlocking a past that had been hidden inside her heart all along. It was a moment that changed everything, not just for Sophie, but for everyone who had been searching for answers. The connection between a girl and a gorilla was more than chance. It was the key to a story that was waiting to be told. As Sophie's memories began to return, the truth of her past started to unfold. She remembered living deep in the Congo Basin, where her parents worked as primate researchers. They had dedicated their lives to studying and protecting gorillas in their natural habitat. Sophie's days were filled with laughter, exploration, and the wild sounds of the jungle. But then, chaos erupted. Sophie recalled the sudden attack on their research camp by militants. The screams, the burning tents, and the desperate scramble to escape. In the midst of the chaos, Sophie had fled into the dense forest, terrified and alone. It was there, lost and frightened, that a troop of gorillas found her. Instead of harm, they offered protection. For weeks, those gorillas became her family, shielding her from danger and keeping her safe until rescuers arrived. The trauma of those events was so overwhelming that her mind had shut down, erasing the memories to protect her from the pain. But the bond with those gorillas never faded. One of them was Koba, the very gorilla who had touched her hand at the sanctuary. He had been part of that troop, rescued and brought to safety after the attack. That gentle touch reconnected Sophie not only to her memories, but to the family she had lost and the extraordinary story of survival that defined her early life. Experts explain that what Sophie experienced is a rare but powerful example of how the human mind can protect itself from trauma. When faced with overwhelming fear or pain, some people's memories shut down completely, a condition called dissociative amnesia. It's the brain's way of creating a barrier between the person and the unbearable reality they endured. Scientists have also found that certain sensory triggers, like touch, smell, or sound, can unlock memories that seem lost forever. In Sophie's case, the simple act of the gorilla's hand brushing hers acted like a key, opening a door deep within her subconscious. This tactile connection bypassed her mental defenses and released memories that had been hidden away for years. Animal-assisted therapy has shown similar results for many trauma survivors. The presence of animals can provide comfort, reduce anxiety, and sometimes even help people access memories or emotions they cannot reach through traditional therapy. Sophie's story highlights the unique bond humans share with animals and how that connection can be a bridge to healing. Psychologists emphasize that every case is different, but Sophie's experience reminds us of the incredible resilience of the mind and how healing can come from the most unexpected places, even from a gentle touch from a gorilla. Since regaining her memories, Sophie's life has taken a remarkable turn. She was able to reconnect with distant relatives who had been searching for her, finally finding a place to call home again. But she didn't stop there. Sophie became an advocate for wildlife conservation, dedicating herself to protecting the gorillas that had once protected her. She also speaks openly about her experience with trauma and recovery, helping others who struggle with memory loss or emotional wounds. Through her story, she shows how hope and healing can emerge even from the darkest moments. Sophie continues to visit the sanctuary regularly, where she and Koba share a quiet, unspoken bond. Their relationship is a powerful reminder of the deep connections that can exist between humans and animals, transcending language and time. Her journey from silence to voice inspires everyone who hears it, proving that sometimes the most unexpected friendships can unlock the past and light the way to a brighter future.